Saying she's social. To a less than 24 HRS old newborn baby. Newborn children are often very reluctant to being handled, being grumpy and exhausted, wanting to mostly sleep. She probably meant that your baby was unusual accepting of being awake and around people, making little fuss about being handled. It means they had fun with her. She wasn't that annoying to deal with. Being social might just mean she wasn't scared of all the new people she's seeing. My second made it very clear that she wanted to hang out with people from the moment she was born. Right from the start she was following voices and people with her eyes and trying to smile. It's actually amazing how much personality they show right from the start. You don't really realize it with your first, because you just figure that's how babies are. But subsequent babies really teach you to understand how much they are individuals. Our grandson lifted his head off his dad's shoulder and the nurse was like, "What the heck, baby? You shouldn't be able to do that on day one," which of course made us all realize that they really shouldn't be able to do that. It was wild. "I bet your baby was super alert and social," and that's all the nurse meant. I wouldn't worry a bit. Congrats on your new baby. Former newborn here. When we act social, it just means we are curious about our surroundings and interact with them. She was probably very aware and interacting with them. Mine slept the first 8h and would only look up when other babies cry to give Emma mean side eye. Lol, still sensitive to BS. My niece seemed so unbothered, but people's antics from day one. She's still fierce and knows her values 10 years later. She's got 6 play dates, a job interview, and a brunch with Betty the nurse on the 3rd floor scheduled for Sunday at 11. You're gonna need a planner, Mom. She's got places to be. She bought a round of drinks for everyone involved and asked if anyone had a smoke. It happens. Watch your credit card for suspicious charges. Polite small talk. She's supporting you that your baby is special. Newborns are often sleepy and don't look around or try to make eye contact. My babies were like yours, looking around trying to take it all in. Lol, I get it, but I had preemie twins, and even in their basically unresponsive state, every single nurse who was on their register said the same things about their completely different personalities. I thought it was wild, but they could tell just by their basic stats and vitals over a few hours which child had what personality, and they could tell them apart by that alone. And as it turns out, they are largely very similar to those original synopsis given by several nurses and doctors. Haha. We are several years beyond that now, and certainly haven't tried to goad them in one direction or the other. They are both so headstrong in different ways. How could I? But they do have polar opposite personalities to this day, and apparently from birth, and even before. If I'm being honest, they acted totally different in utero as well, so maybe your nurse is into something. They do interact with a lot of newborn babies in their line of work. My nurse told my parents I was going to be a piano player. Just by looking at my hands straight after I was born, I played piano for about 3 years before giving up. She very likely meant the baby was very awake and alert. When I was born, all of the nurses commented on how alert and aware I seemed, and one called me wise. Nurses like to make friendly conversation and compliment new babies to the parents. She was being nice. Social means looking at everyone, maybe cooing and smiling, and comfortable with people. Cooperative. They say that's when a baby is reading social cues and responding to things, sometimes even more so, like the smiling and looking at everyone. People just say things to be nice. She's alert. A lot of newborns are extremely sleepy and you barely see their eyes for weeks. Some are pretty alert and seemingly interested in checking out their surroundings, move a lot, maybe make a lot of sounds. You may have an extra busy body on your hands. My fiancé just had our daughter a little over 3 months ago, and our nurse said the same thing. Lol. Like others have said, it really just means your baby was more alert and engaged instead of being a grouchy bundle of love. Reminds me of when people say she looks just like you, right after the baby's born. Mom, she looks like a squished alien. What do you think I look like? This is usually just a harmless way to say that the baby is agreeable and maybe a bit more responsive than others. It's a compliment. She was probably looking at faces and cooing. My eldest was a very sleepy newborn. Our youngest lifted his head as soon as he was born, so that he could look at his dad's face. He was awake a lot, always watching people and cooing from day one.